This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Tristan Hildebrand coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Tuesday, June 2nd. A Taiwanese Air Force aircraft crash results in the deaths of 2 military pilots. The Czech Senate president visits Taiwan, calling for unity between democratic nations, and NVIDIA and MediaTek unveil the co-developed RTX Spark made for AI agent computing. But first, today's top story. A T-34 trainer aircraft operated by Taiwan's Air Force crashed at Gangshan Air Base in Kaohsiung this Tuesday morning, resulting in the deaths of 2 military pilots. Per the Defense Ministry, a T-34 primary trainer aircraft, tail number 3414, assigned to the Air Force Flight Training Command, was conducting a simulated engine failure flight training mission at approximately 8:08 a.m. when it crashed near the northern end of the runway at Gangshan Air Base for reasons that remain unknown. The crash claimed the lives of 2 pilots, both lieutenant colonels, identified by their surnames Liu and Guo. Defense Ministry spokesperson Sun Lifang said Air Force Commander Zheng Rongfeng arrived at the scene immediately after the incident to assess conditions. Defense Minister Wellington Koo also instructed the Air Force to provide all necessary assistance to the families of the deceased. Sun said,
The minister instructed the Air Force to assist the pilots' families as quickly as possible with all follow-up matters. In addition, the causes of the accident must be thoroughly investigated and fully understood to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future.
Sun added that the Air Force has already established a special task force to determine the exact cause of the crash.
You are not alone. Czech Senate President urges Taiwan to continue defending democracy. Czech Senate President Milos Vystrčil said Taiwan was an inspiration and urged Taiwanese not to give up defending their freedom and democracy. He also said democratic countries must stand together against authoritarian pressure. The message I want to convey to the people of Taiwan is, don't give up. Protect your freedom and democracy. You are not alone. We are with you, Vystrčil said. The Czech Senate President made the remarks during an interview with Radio Taiwan International in Taipei on Tuesday. Asked about concerns that high-level visits to Taiwan could affect Czech business interests in China, Vystrčil said, Czechia should develop mutually beneficial relations with many countries, including Taiwan and China. But he emphasized that such relations must be based on equality. Vystrčil said China is a large country, but relations should not be based on preconditions. If Beijing were to cut off economic and trade cooperation because of his Taiwan visit, he said, Czechia could not accept that because it would make the country a lackey. He also said he was optimistic about the future of Taiwan-Czech economic ties, pointing to the business delegation accompanying him on the visit. Democracies should prevent any distortion of UN General Assembly Resolution 2758, Vystrčil said, adding that no country should be allowed to change the status quo. Czechia's current Prime Minister, Andrej Babiš, has criticised the trip, underscoring a divide between Vystrčil's Senate-backed Taiwan visit and the Czech government's stated preference for more pragmatic relations with China. This is James Thompson with Radio Taiwan International, reporting in Taipei.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang on Tuesday praised MediaTek's engineering capabilities as he appeared alongside the company's CEO, Rick Tsai, to discuss the jointly developed RTX Spark processor for Windows computers. Speaking at a global media briefing, Huang said the project brought together hundreds of engineers from both companies and took nearly 2 years to complete. The personal computer industry is undergoing its biggest transformation in 4 decades, Huang said, claiming that computers are evolving from traditional computing tools into platforms capable of running artificial intelligence agents with autonomous execution and reasoning abilities. He said,
The architecture of an application, and this application is called an agent. The architecture of that is consistent throughout. It's called a harness. There are many different types of harnesses, but they're largely similar. They orchestrate the thinking process. The GPU still has to do thinking step by step by step. So it has to understand the context, the situation. It has to understand the intent, the prompt, and it has to reason about it.
Huang said discussions with Microsoft about future generations of the Windows platform prompted NVIDIA to consider what type of chips and computer architecture would be needed for AI agents. They decided to create RTX Spark, a system-on-chip platform designed to deliver high performance with low power consumption. The platform incorporates NVIDIA's NVLink interconnect technology and is designed to support AI agent workloads, industrial applications, and gaming. Tsai said the collaboration was challenging but successful. He noted that MediaTek's expertise in low-power CPU technology, combined with NVLink's high-speed connectivity and a unified memory architecture linking CPUs and GPUs, helped create what he described as an ideal platform for AI agent computing. In response to concerns over drug-impaired driving accidents raised at last week's legislative meeting, Transportation Minister Chen Shikai said on Monday that the ministry has begun revising the Road Traffic Management and Penalty Act. The proposed amendments would significantly increase penalties for drug-impaired driving and tighten driver's license regulations for convicted drug users. The draft is expected to be submitted to the cabinet before the end of June and could take effect as early as the end of this year. Chen said the amendments would not only target drivers under the influence of drugs, but would also introduce penalties for passengers aged 18 or older who knowingly ride with a drug-impaired driver. Such passengers could face fines of up to 15,000 NT dollars or $476. Fines for drug-impaired driving would also increase substantially, including for first-time offenders. Chen said,
Under the new law, drug-impaired driving in a car would start at 120,000 NT dollars, while motorcycle offenses would start at 90,000 NT dollars. Future violations could lead to cumulative penalties with no upper limit. Even first-time offenders would face these fines. Furthermore, anyone confirmed to have used drugs will be subject to driver's license revocation or suspension.
According to key amendment proposals the ministry released Monday, drug-impaired drivers would face license revocation and would not be able to reapply for a license for 3 years. In addition, confirmed drug users and other individuals whose licenses are suspended or revoked as a result of drug-impaired driving would be required to complete drug rehabilitation, treatment, or drug harm prevention courses. They would also need to remain drug-free for a specified period before becoming eligible to reapply for or renew a driver's license. The minister expressed confidence that, given the bipartisan interest in the issue, the amendments will very likely pass review and take effect by the end of 2026. Pingdong's bluefin tuna season has already seen over 3,000 prized catches turned into premium sashimi this year.
Bluefin tuna season is in full swing in Pingdong, with more than 3,000 caught so far. The streets are teeming with what the locals are calling million-dollar luxury vehicles, which in reality are scooters pulling trailers loaded with 1, 2, or more of this valuable catch. During the annual bluefin tuna season, it's common to see motorcycles equipped with trailers hauling fish weighing well over 100 kilograms out of the market. With an average price of close to 300 NT dollars per kilogram, the tuna's high value is what inspired the special nickname. At the fish market, dozens of these so-called luxury vehicles can be seen lined up in a row. There, the fresh ruby red tuna are expertly filleted by skilled fishmongers. Whatever way it's served, the prized bluefin tuna will certainly have you putting your money where your mouth is. Hannah Belinsky for RTI News.
Taiwan showcased its culture, food, and traditions at the annual Taste of Asia Festival over the weekend in Canada through the Taiwan Way Pavilion. The pavilion offered exhibits on Taiwanese culture, traditional children's games, food presentations, and interactive activities. Festival organizer Food Trip Market praised Taiwan's participation, describing the pavilion as one of the event's highlights because of its interactive programming and cultural content, which helped promote cross-cultural understanding among Canada's diverse communities. Thank you for joining me for the news. I'm Tristan Hildebrand. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.